Captain Vreck's tail of the Galactic Confederation stood on the observation deck of his flagship, the Eternal Dominion, gazing at the small blue planet that hung like a marble in the vast emptiness of space. His lips curled into what his species considered a smile, though it resembled more of a grimace to human standards. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation as his crew prepared for their grand entrance into Earth's orbit. Commander Pelnar, status report. Vreck's Tal barked, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. Commander Pelnar, a slender being with pale green skin and elongated fingers, approached with a tablet-like device. All systems optimal, Captain. The entire fleet is in formation. 27 battleships, including our flagship, are ready to make the jump to Earth's orbit. Excellent. Vreck's Tal rubbed his scaled hands together. The humans have no idea what awaits them. Our intelligence suggests they are still using primitive combustion engines for their pathetic excuse of a space fleet. The Federation had monitored Earth for decades, keeping their distance while studying human development. The decision to make first contact now was strategic. Show overwhelming force first, negotiate from a position of strength second. Classic Confederation diplomacy. Sir, Lieutenant Zorla interrupted, her antennae twitching nervously. Should we not consider a more peaceful approach? Her reports indicate humans can be unpredictable when threatened. Vreck's Tal laughed, a harsh sound like grinding metal. Unpredictable. They are barely space-capable. Their most advanced vessel can barely reach their own moon without breaking apart. No, Lieutenant, we show them our might first. Then they will be properly motivated to join the Confederation on our terms. He turned to face the command crew, all 12 species represented on the bridge. The human expression is shock and awe, I believe. Let's give them something to remember for generations. Transition to Earth orbit in 5 minutes, the navigation officer announced. Vreck's Tal settled into his command chair, imagining the expressions of wonder and fear on the humans' faces when they witnessed the majesty of the Confederation fleet materializing above their world. Such primitive beings would surely capitulate immediately. Begin broadcast preparations, he ordered. I want our message transmitted on all their frequencies the moment we arrive. Yes, Captain, Communications Officer Yoltz responded, her tentacles dancing across the holographic interface. As the fleet prepared to make their synchronized jump to Earth's orbit, Vreck's Tal couldn't help but feel a twinge of disappointment. He'd been hoping for a challenge, not this simple intimidation of an underdeveloped species. Still, orders were orders, and the Confederation wanted Earth's resources with minimal resistance. Transition commencing in 3, 2, 1. The stars outside the viewport streaked and blurred as the massive fleet engaged their folding drives. Space itself seemed to bend around them as they tore through the fabric of reality. And then, with a flash of light that would be visible from Earth's surface, 27 battleships of the Galactic Confederation appeared in high orbit around the blue planet. Position secured, reported navigation. Holding formation. Excellent. Begin broadcast. Vreck's Tal's order was cut short by an urgent alert from the sensor station. Captain, multiple contacts detected. They were masked somehow. They are everywhere. Vreck's Tal leaped from his chair. What? Impossible. Put it on the main display. The holographic projection in the center of the bridge flickered to life, showing their fleet surrounded by ships, human ships. Not the primitive rockets and shuttles their intelligence had reported, but massive, sleek vessels of unfamiliar design. They had appeared out of nowhere, as if materializing from the vacuum itself. How many? Vreck's Tal demanded, his confidence evaporating like morning dew under twin suns. 53 major vessels detected, sir, the sensor officer replied, voice quavering. Plus numerous smaller craft. They have completely encircled our fleet. Commander Pelnar approached, her usual composure shattered. Captain, there's no record of humans possessing this technology. Our intelligence must have been compromised, or deliberately fed false information, Vreck's Tal muttered. Hail them immediately. I want to know what we are dealing with. Before communications could comply, every screen on the bridge lit up with an incoming transmission. The face that appeared belonged to a human female with dark hair pulled back tightly, revealing sharp features and eyes that seemed to cut through Vrex's tail like a plasma blade. "Confederation vessels," she said without preamble, her voice calm but carrying an unmistakable edge of authority. "This is Admiral Tanya Kozlov of the Earth Defense Fleet. You have entered Earth-controlled space without authorization. State your intentions immediately." Vrex Tal blinked rapidly, trying to process this turn of events. This was not how first contact was supposed to go. He was supposed to be the one making demands. "This is Captain Vrex Tal of the Galactic Confederation. We come as representatives of the most powerful alliance in the known galaxy. We wish to discuss Earth's integration into our Fellowship of Worlds." He tried to sound authoritative despite his shock. Admiral Kozlov's expression didn't change. "Integration. Interesting choice of words, Captain. Perhaps you'd like to explain why you arrived with a battle fleet rather than a diplomatic envoy." Caught off guard, Vrex Tal fumbled for words. "The Confederation believes in showing its full strength and capability when meeting new civilizations. It prevents misunderstandings about the balance of power." A slight smile appeared on the human's face. "I see. Then you will appreciate that we have done the same." The main view screen split to show multiple angles of the human vessels. Vrex Tal felt his heart sink. The ships were enormous, dwarfing even the Eternal Dominion. Their design was unlike anything in the Confederation database, angular in places, curved in others, with what appeared to be massive weapon emplacements along their hulls. "Sir," whispered Commander Pelnar, "those vessels are reading energy signatures far beyond our capability. And their hulls, our scanners can't penetrate them." "Impossible," Vrex Tal hissed. "They are bluffing." As if hearing his doubt, Admiral Kozlov continued. "Captain, one of your vessels is moving out of the agreed holding pattern. Please correct this immediately." Vrex Tal glanced at navigation. "We gave no such order." "It's the Relentless Fury, sir," reported navigation. "Captain Drez must be acting independently. He's powering weapons. Order him to stand down immediately." Vrex Tal shouted, but it was too late. On the view screen, they watched as the Relentless Fury fired a salvo of energy torpedoes toward the nearest human vessel. The torpedoes streaked across space, their blue trails beautiful and deadly, until they simply vanished about 100 meters from the human ship's hull. "What just happened?" Vrex Tal demanded. "Some kind of defensive field," reported sensors. It absorbed the energy completely." The human admiral's expression hardened. That was unwise. Without any visible weapons fire, the Relentless Fury suddenly shuddered. Multiple small explosions blossomed along its hull, and its lights flickered and died. The massive battleship, pride of Captain Drez's fleet sector, hung dead in space. "We have disabled your rogue vessel," Admiral Kozlov stated flatly. "No casualties, but they won't be joining this conversation anymore." Vrex Tal gripped the arms of his command chair so tightly his claws left indentations in the metal. The Relentless Fury was one of their most advanced warships, and the humans had neutralized it without visible effort. This was catastrophic. "Perhaps," the Admiral continued, "we should start this conversation again. We have been aware of the Confederation for some time, Captain. Your reputation precedes you. Not all species you have integrated have been silenced." Vrex Tal's mind raced. Refugees? Spies? How had humans gathered intelligence on them without detection? "We suggest a diplomatic meeting," Admiral Kozlov said. "A small delegation from your fleet may shuttle to our command vessel, the Prometheus. We are transmitting coordinates now." Commander Pelnar leaned close to Vrex Tal. "Sir, I advise caution. This could be a trap." "And if we refuse?" Vrex Tal asked the human admiral. Admiral Kozlov tilted her head slightly. "Then you are welcome to leave Earth space immediately. But the Confederation will not be permitted to return. This is a one-time offer of diplomatic relations." The bridge fell silent as everyone waited for Vrextail's decision. He had come expecting to intimidate a primitive species into submission. Instead, he found himself outmatched, outgunned, and outmaneuvered. "Very well, Admiral," he finally said. "I will lead the delegation myself." "Excellent. We will expect you in 1 hour." Kozlov out. As the transmission ended, Vrextail slumped in his chair. "Lieutenant Zorla, Commander Pelnar, you will accompany me. Have the shuttle prepared." "Sir," ventured Commander Pelnar, "what exactly are we walking into?" Vrextail stared at the frozen image of the human ships surrounding his fleet. "I don't know, Commander, but I'm beginning to think the Confederation has made a grave miscalculation about Earth." The shuttle journey was tense and silent. Vrextail studied the approaching human vessel with growing anxiety. The Prometheus was enormous, easily 3 times the size of his flagship. Its dark hull seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, making it difficult to discern details. Only the illuminated name on its side and running lights along its edges marked its presence against the backdrop of space. "Their design philosophy is unusual," Zorla commented, breaking the silence. "No visible weapons emplacements, minimal external sensors. It's almost as if the entire ship is a weapon Vrextail finished for her, or a shield." "Sir, do you think they planned this? Were we lured here?" Commander Pelnar asked. Vrextail considered this. "Perhaps. Or perhaps our intelligence on humans has been catastrophically wrong from the beginning." The shuttle approached a massive opening in the side of the Prometheus, a hangar bay large enough to accommodate vessels much larger than their shuttle. Internal gravity pulled them gently inside, where rows of what appeared to be human fighters and other craft stood in perfect formation. "Look at these vessels," Zorla whispered. "The design variations suggest multiple specialized roles. This isn't a recently developed fleet. These humans have been building for war for some time." The shuttle settled onto the deck with a soft thud. Through the viewport, they could see a reception committee waiting 5 humans in uniform, standing rigidly at attention. "Remember," Vrextail instructed, "we represent the Confederation. Whatever happens, maintain dignity." They disembarked into the cavernous hangar bay. The air was cooler than Vrextail preferred, but breathable. Gravity felt slightly stronger than on their vessels set to Earth normal, he presumed. Admiral Kozlov stepped forward from the reception line. In person, she was tall for a human, with the bearing of someone accustomed to command. "Captain Vrextail, welcome aboard the EDF Prometheus. These are my senior officers." She introduced them rapidly. Names Vrextail immediately forgot in his nervousness before gesturing toward a doorway. "If you will follow me, we have prepared a conference room for our discussion." As they walked through the corridors of the massive ship, Vrextail couldn't help but notice the efficiency of the design. Unlike Confederation vessels with their ornate decoration showcasing the combined artistic traditions of 12 species, the human ship was utilitarian but not crude. Everything served a purpose. And everywhere they went, human crew members worked with practiced precision, barely sparing glances for the alien visitors. They entered a large conference room with a view of Earth through a massive viewport. The planet's blue beauty stood in stark contrast to the tension in the room. "Please be seated." Admiral Kozlov indicated chairs clearly designed to accommodate non-human physiology. Another surprise they had prepared for this meeting. Once settled, the Admiral wasted no time. "Captain, let's be direct. The Confederation has a history of approaching developing worlds with overwhelming military force, offering them the choice between integration or conquest. You absorb their resources, restrict their development, and essentially turn them into client states." Vrextail shifted uncomfortably. Stated so bluntly, the Confederation's expansion strategy sounded less like diplomatic outreach and more like imperialism. Which, if he was honest with himself, it was. "The Confederation brings order and protection to primitive," he began. "We are not primitive, Captain," interrupted one of the human officers, a broad-shouldered male with dark skin and intense eyes. The nameplate on his uniform read Admiral Okafor. "We have been watching you for longer than you have been watching us." "Impossible," Commander Pelnar blurted. "Our stealth technology is based on phase-shifted quantum arrays." Another human officer finished for her. This one was shorter, with features suggesting Asian ancestry. "We detected your observation posts near Jupiter 30 years ago. We have been feeding them carefully curated information ever since." Rex Tall felt as if the deck had dropped out from beneath him. 30 years of intelligence, all carefully manipulated. The implications were staggering. Admiral Kozlov leaned forward. "Captain, Earth is not interested in becoming part of your confederation. We are not interested in conquest either. What we are interested in is peaceful coexistence and fair trade. But we needed you to understand from the outset that we negotiate as equals, not as potential subjects." "And the display of force?" Rex Tall asked, finding his voice again. Admiral Kozlov smiled slightly. "You brought 27 battleships to first contact, Captain. We simply responded in kind. Cultural translation, you might say. The human called Okafor slid a data tablet across the table. These are our proposed terms for diplomatic relations between Earth and the Confederation. You will find them reasonable. Open borders, fair trade. Mutual defense against actual threats. What you won't find is any provision allowing Confederation military bases in our system or preferential resource access." Rex Tall stared at the tablet, trying to absorb this complete reversal of the expected outcome. He had come to conquer, or at least coerce. Instead, he found himself being dictated terms by a species that had outmaneuvered the entire Confederation. "How?" he asked finally. "How did humans advance so quickly? Our intelligence indicated you had barely achieved lunar colonization." The humans exchanged glances before Admiral Kozlov answered. "Let's just say we have had some help. Not all species appreciate the Confederation's approach to galactic politics. Some have chosen to ally with us instead." "Who?" demanded Rex Tall. "That's not important right now," Admiral Kozlov replied. "What matters is where we go from here. Will the Confederation accept peaceful relations with Earth, or will you choose another path?" The threat was clear, though unspoken. If the Confederation chose conflict, these humans and their mysterious allies were ready. Rex Tall looked out at Earth, so peaceful from this distance. He thought of the relentless fury, disabled without a visible shot fired. He thought of his orders and of the reality that now faced him. "I will need to consult with Confederation High Command," he said finally. "This situation is outside my authority." Admiral Kozlov nodded. "Understood. You may use our communication facilities to contact them. We will provide privacy, of course." Of course, Rex Tall echoed, wondering if that was true. These humans had already proven far more capable than anyone had suspected. He doubted any communication would truly be private. As they rose to follow a human officer to the communication room, Rex Tall caught Commander Pelnar's eye. Her expression mirrored his own thoughts. The Confederation had made a terrible mistake, and the humans knew it. The communication chamber aboard the Prometheus was unlike anything in Confederation design. Rather than the standard holographic projectors Rex Tall was accustomed to, this room featured what appeared to be a complete absence of technology. The walls, floor, and ceiling were composed of a matte black material that seemed to absorb not just light but sound as well. "How exactly am I supposed to contact my superiors?" Rex Tall asked, unable to hide his confusion. The human officer, a woman named Commander Valentina Petrov, according to her nameplate, gave him a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Simply speak. The room will handle the rest." Before Rex Tall could object to such a preposterous instruction, she and the other humans left, sealing the door behind them. "This is absurd," he muttered to Commander Pelnar. "Do they expect us to shout across interstellar space?" Lieutenant Zorla ran her scanning device over the walls. "Captain, these materials, I have never seen readings like this." It's as if the walls exist in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. "I command," Vrextal said loudly, feeling foolish. "This is Captain Vrextal of the Eternal Dominion, requesting immediate communication." To his shock, the entire room shifted. The black surfaces rippled like water, and suddenly they were standing in what appeared to be the high command chamber on the Confederation homeworld, complete with the 12 Grand Admirals seated at their crescent-shaped table. The simulation, if that's what it was flawless down to the subtle scent of bioluminescent fungi that always permeated Confederation administrative buildings. "Captain Vrextal," spoke Grand Admiral Hux Valen, his massive form leaning forward. "Your fleet suddenly became difficult to track. Explain your status." Vrextal struggled to maintain composure. Were they really communicating with High Command, or was this an elaborate human trick? "Grand Admirals, we have encountered unexpected resistance at Earth. The humans possess technology far beyond our intelligence reports. They have surrounded our fleet with superior vessels and have already neutralized the relentless fury when Captain Drez attempted aggressive action." The Grand Admirals exchanged glances, a cascade of expressions ranging from disbelief to alarm. "Impossible," declared Grand Admiral Tiz, her feathered crest rising in agitation. "Human technology is primitive. Our reports are conclusive." "Our reports were deliberately falsified," Vrextal replied. "The humans detected our observation posts years ago and have been feeding us misinformation. They appear to have allies, possibly Confederation enemies, who have provided them with advanced technology." "The Arcosian remnant," murmured Grand Admiral Kulith. "Or perhaps the Sovereign Collective." "Speculation is irrelevant," Grand Admiral Hux Valen declared. "What matters are the facts. Captain, assess their capabilities honestly. Can your fleet overwhelm them?" Vrextal thought of the relentless fury, disabled without visible effort. "No, Grand Admiral. Their technology appears to surpass ours considerably. They disabled our most advanced battleship without firing a conventional weapon. Their hulls resist our scans. Their ships outnumber ours 2-to-1 and possess greater mass and energy signatures." Silence fell across the High Command chamber. For species that had known nothing but expansion and conquest for generations, the concept of encountering a superior force was almost incomprehensible. "They have presented terms," Vrextal continued, nodding to Commander Pelnar, who held up the data tablet. "They propose peaceful relations, open borders, and fair trade. No military access to their system. No preferential resource claims." "Unacceptable," barked Grand Admiral Tiz. "The Confederation does not accept terms. We dictate them." Grand Admiral Hux Valen raised a massive hand for silence. "What do they know of our activities in other systems?" "They implied knowledge of our integration methods," Vrextal admitted. "They referenced species we have subjugated." Another uncomfortable silence descended. Vrextal realized he was witnessing something unprecedented, the Confederation High Command considering retreat. "You have permission to negotiate temporary terms," Grand Admiral Hux Valen finally said. "Accept their proposals provisionally. We need time to assess this situation and develop appropriate countermeasures." Vrextal understood the unspoken directive. Accept the terms, withdraw the fleet, then return with overwhelming force once they understood the humans' capabilities. "As you command," he acknowledged with a bow. "Do not fail us," Captain Grand Admiral Tiz added. "The reputation of the Confederation must be preserved." The black room rippled again, and the High Command chamber vanished, leaving Vrextal and his officers alone once more. Lieutenant Zorla shuddered visibly. That communication method, how could they possibly? Later, Vrextal cut her off as the door slid open, revealing Admiral Kozlov. "Have you reached a decision, Captain?" the human asked, her posture relaxed but alert. Vrextal straightened his uniform. "The Confederation is prepared to accept your terms provisionally as a foundation for ongoing diplomatic relations." Something flashed in the Admiral's eyes, amusement? Knowledge? It was gone too quickly to interpret. "Excellent," she said. "Let's finalize the agreement." The diplomatic proceedings moved with surprising speed. Within hours, preliminary accords were drawn up, agreed upon, and transmitted to both the waiting Confederation fleet and Earth's governing bodies. Throughout it all, Rex Tal couldn't shake the sense that the humans had orchestrated every moment of this encounter long before his fleet ever arrived. A tour of our vessel might be appropriate, Admiral Kozlov suggested as they concluded the formalities, to demonstrate our good faith and begin cultural exchange. Rex Tal knew an intelligence-gathering opportunity when he heard one. We would be honored. The tour only deepened his unease. The Prometheus was a marvel of engineering, a perfect fusion of function and form that made Confederation vessels look almost primitive by comparison. Most disturbing were the weapons systems, which the humans displayed with casual confidence. "This is our main defensive array," explained the human called Admiral Okafor, gesturing toward what appeared to be a simple corridor of seamlessly joined metal plates. "I see no weapons," Commander Pelnar observed suspiciously. Okafor smiled. "The entire ship is the weapon, Commander. What you are looking at is a gravity manipulation system. It can create localized distortions in space-time that can deflect, absorb, or redirect energy. That's what happened to your rogue vessel's torpedoes, and how they disabled the relentless fury," Rex Tal guessed. Okafor nodded. "A focused gravitational spike disrupts electronics without destroying the vessel. Non-lethal, but effective." Lieutenant Zorla, ever the technical specialist, couldn't contain her curiosity. Such technology would require enormous power generation. "Indeed it does," Admiral Kozlov confirmed. "Perhaps you'd like to see our engine room." The engine room defied Rex Tal's understanding. Where Confederation ships used plasma reactors, massive, rumbling chambers of contained energy, the human engine room was eerily quiet. At its center floated what appeared to be a small star, suspended in a perfect sphere of utterly clear material. "A captured stellar fragment?" Rex Tal asked, unable to mask his shock. A human engineer laughed. "Not quite. It's a controlled fusion reaction, but with a twist. We have managed to create a self-sustaining reaction that generates significantly more energy than traditional fusion." "Impossible," whispered Commander Pelnar. "The energy requirements for containment alone would exceed the output of conventional fusion," finished the engineer. "That's why we don't use conventional methods. The containment field is actually drawing power from the quantum vacuum itself." Rex Tal didn't understand the technical explanation that followed, but he understood enough. These humans hadn't just matched Confederation technology, they'd taken entirely different development paths that had led them far beyond what his people had achieved. As they continued the tour, Rex Tal observed something else disturbing: the ease with which humans and non-humans worked together aboard the Prometheus. He spotted at least 3 species he recognized as victims of Confederation integration, working alongside humans as equals, not subjects. Most surprising was the sight of a Thraxian, a species renowned for their isolationism, operating a communication station with casual competence. "You seem surprised, Captain," Admiral Kozlov commented, following his gaze. "The Thraxian enclave has refused all contact with the Confederation for centuries," Rex Tal said. "With the Confederation, yes," Admiral Kozlov replied pointedly. "Earth takes a different approach to interspecies relations. We believe in partnerships rather than subjugation." The barb stung, but Rex Tal couldn't dispute it. "And these partnerships, they have provided you with technology?" "Some," Admiral Kozlov acknowledged. "But humans are remarkably innovative on their own. Most of what you are seeing was developed by Earth, perhaps with inspiration from our friends. Cultural exchange benefits everyone." The concept was alien to Rex Tal. The Confederation had always taken what it wanted, absorbing what was useful and discarding the rest. Their tour ended in what appeared to be a garden, an enormous chamber filled with plants from Earth and, surprisingly, several other worlds Rex Tal recognized. "We find that maintaining connection to living things helps our crews on long deployments," Admiral Kozlov explained. "This garden contains species from every world we have diplomatic relations with. A gesture of respect, Lieutenant Zorla noted with what sounded like approval. Precisely, Admiral Kozlov agreed. Captain, you have seen only a fraction of our capabilities today. I hope it's enough to convince you of something fundamental. Earth has no interest in conquest, but we will defend ourselves and our allies with absolute resolve. Rex Tail contemplated the implied threat. The Confederation has accepted your terms, Admiral. For now, she replied, making it clear she understood the provisional nature of the agreement. But I suspect your High Command is already planning their next move. A word of advice? Counsel them toward genuine diplomacy. And if they don't take that counsel? Rex Tal asked. Admiral Kozlov gestured around them. What you have seen today is one vessel of many. What you haven't seen would truly alarm you. The return journey to the Eternal Dominion was conducted in tense silence. Only when they were aboard their own shuttle did Commander Pelnar speak. They are going to destroy us if we return with hostile intent, she said flatly. Perhaps Rex Tail acknowledged, but High Command will never accept these terms permanently. Their pride won't allow it. Pride? Lieutenant Zorla scoffed. Did you see that engine? That communication technology? The combined species working together? The Confederation has been stagnant for centuries, telling ourselves we are the pinnacle of development while apparently the rest of the galaxy has been innovating around us. Rex Tail had never heard such heresy from an officer before, but he couldn't bring himself to reprimand her. The truth of her words resonated too deeply. As their shuttle approached the Eternal Dominion, Rex Tail made a decision. We will report exactly what we have seen and recommend genuine diplomatic engagement. If High Command chooses war instead, that's their decision. And if they order us to lead the attack? Commander Pelnar asked. Rex Tail gazed at the blue planet growing smaller behind them. Then we will have interesting choices to make, Commander. 2 months later, Admiral Kozlov stood in Earth's orbital diplomatic center, watching as the new Confederation diplomatic vessel entered the docking bay. The first official embassy was about to be established. They actually went through with it, Admiral Okafor remarked, standing beside her. I had my doubts. Credit where it's due, Kozlov replied. Their new High Council is taking a different approach. After the old one was, what was the official term? Are tired? Kozlov smiled slightly. Something like that. Captain Rex Tail's report apparently caused quite the stir, especially when it was leaked to every world in the Confederation. The revolutionary upheaval that had followed had been swift and decisive. Species that had chafed under Confederation rule for generations had risen up, demanding reform. When the dust settled, the militaristic Grand Admirals had been replaced by a more representative council. Speaking of our favorite captain, Okafor said, isn't that him leading the diplomatic delegation? Indeed it was. Rex Tal, now bearing the insignia of a diplomatic envoy rather than a military officer, led a diverse group of representatives toward the reception area. His gaze found Admiral Kozlov, and he gave a slight nod of recognition. He made an interesting choice, Kozlov observed. We gave him an interesting education, Okafor replied. Sometimes all it takes is showing someone a bigger universe than they knew existed. As the human and Confederation delegations prepared to meet, Kozlov reflected on how differently things might have gone. Had the Confederation arrived with their usual overwhelming force before Earth had formed its alliances and developed its technology, humanity might now be just another subjugated world. Instead, the revelation of Earth's capabilities, its advanced technology, its network of allies, so its fundamentally different approach to interspecies relations had ultimately transformed not just human Confederation relations, but the internal structure of the Confederation itself. They really thought we'd be impressed by their battleships, Okafor chuckled. To be fair, Kozlov replied with a smile, they hadn't seen ours. As Captain, now Envoy Rex Tail approached, Kozlov stepped forward to welcome him officially. The former military officer looked different, somehow more thoughtful, less rigid. Admiral Kozlov, he greeted her. On behalf of the reformed Confederation Council, I bring greetings and a proposal for permanent alliance. Envoy Rex Teal, she responded. Earth welcomes you and looks forward to a productive relationship. As formalities commenced, Rex Teal managed a private word with the Admiral. You knew, didn't you? You knew showing us your capabilities would trigger reform within the Confederation. Kozlov's expression revealed nothing. We showed you what we are, Envoy. What your people did with that information was entirely their choice. A guided choice, Rex Teal suggested. Perhaps, Kozlov acknowledged. But isn't that what good diplomacy is about? Creating paths for others to follow willingly. Rex Teal considered this. The old Confederation would have returned with a fleet 3 times the size and attacked without warning. We know, Kozlov said simply. You would have been ready. We would have. Rex Teal shook his head in a gesture he'd adopted from humans. Your battleships were impressive, Admiral. But your strategy, that was the true weapon. Kozlov smiled. Welcome to Earth diplomacy, Envoy Rex Teal. We look forward to teaching you much more. The galaxy, Rex Teal reflected, was about to become a very different place. And perhaps, just perhaps, a better one. As the diplomatic proceedings began in earnest, Earth's massive defense fleet maintained its vigilant orbit around the planet, visible, powerful, but peaceful. A reminder rather than a threat. A symbol of a new approach to galactic relations. The Confederation had come to conquer and found instead a teacher. The humans had revealed not just superior technology, but a superior vision, one where cooperation yielded greater benefits than subjugation. And it had all started with battleships,